Hey, parents and teachers. Some of you were upset about my last post or disagree with my last post, which said that please make the kids sit down this year. Parents at home, make your kids sit down, and teachers make the kids, your students, sit down this year. And we talked about strategies to help them practice. And if you practice and use these strategies, and you could throw some of your own in there, but you're consistent, you will see a big change. Well, some people were upset about my post. And one particular mom was upset, and she was saying that her child has ADHD. He has an IEP. According to his IEP, he is entitled to have breaks, okay, during class time. According to his IEP, he's labeled as attentive as long as he is at his desk, whether he's sitting or standing. And I'm going to say to you parents, I need us to make a choice, okay? If you feel like this is what your child needs, and you want to keep everything the way it is, then fine. But for parents and teachers who want children to improve so much, they no longer need the IEP accommodations. They no longer need multiple breaks. They no longer need to have something in the IEP that states that they can stand or sit, that they actually can sit and focus and complete their work, that they actually don't need multiple breaks throughout the class, okay? Then let's do this, all right? Some of you might be upset about my post, but some of you might understand exactly what I'm talking about. I've been working with kids, neurodivergent kids, because she said her son is neurodivergent. I've been working with kids and teaching and improving behavior and focus for over 20 years. As a mental health specialist, then as a special education teacher, and now as an online tutor and coach. And even online, my students improve behaviorally and academically. There's no behavior that I have not experienced or worked with to help kids improve over the 20 years. There's no child that was not able to focus, improve their focus, or improve their reading, or improve their reading scores at school. Every child can improve. And every child, whether they are neurodivergent, whether they've been diagnosed with ADHD, right? Or even autistic, can improve in these areas. I work with kids who are autistic also, okay? Every child can improve. So if someone is saying to me, if they're upset with my post, if you're upset with my post, that just shows me that you don't understand what I mean, and you don't think that your child or your students can actually get to the next level. And they all can. They all can get to the next level. Every child can improve their focus. Every child can improve their behavior. Every child can learn to sit. Every single child. I've never come across any children that were not able to do it. And when we do this, then they will be much more successful, okay? When they're able to focus. See, it's not just us strongly making kids sit down. That's not what the post was about. When kids have that kind of self-control, that their focus improves. When they have that kind of self-discipline, their focus improves. When they are focused on the right things and they're not used to adults helping to manage them or giving them these accommodations, but instead they're focusing on improving in the exact area that they need an accommodation for, these kids do amazing things. I'm telling you from experience. So if your child right now has an IEP, and I know we're used to fighting to make sure that our kids get all of the services and all of the resources that the school promised they would. And let's be honest, a lot of times the schools can't deliver because there's so many kids, right? So parents are frustrated about that. But we focus on that so much that we're not focused on improving so much that they no longer need an IEP. That should be temporary. Right now, If your child in their IEP, it states that they're supposed to have multiple breaks during class time, right? They get overwhelmed. Then the goal should be for them to be able to improve their focus stamina, okay? And I define that as how long a child can stay focused on a task without becoming distracted by or inviting distractions in from their environment, right? They're not being distracted by their environment. They're not inviting distractions in, but they stay focused on the task. We got to work on this. I'm not trying to come at y'all. For those of you who have kids who are neurodivergent, I'm not trying to come down hard on anybody. I am tough, and the way that I talk is tough, right? because I believe in this, and I love these kids. You understand what I'm saying? I love these kids, and I've not seen a child not be able to improve their focus and ability to sit down, and then at the same time improve academically. Okay? They can do so much more than we think they can, and than they think they can. So let's raise our belief now about what we think the kids can do, so that they can then develop this belief in themselves. If you believe that your child cannot sit still, cannot stay in a chair, needs to be able to stand up and walk around, if they had the right plan and it was customized and the expectation and structure, your child would be sitting and writing more and doing more within 2 to 3 weeks. I'm telling you from experience. Okay. I like to also talk about a student that I had in my program. He was I told you, it's a virtual program. He was not sitting down properly. He was on the bed. He was hanging off the bed. He was moving all the time. So his goal was remain seated. And he started to improve in my class. But then I talked to his teacher, because I also communicate with the schools for my parents. The teacher said that he was darting across the classroom. He was out of his seat all the time. And she said to him, and this is where we make the mistake. This is where we make the mistake, y'all. She said to him, okay, if you can stay in your area, you don't have to sit down. Big mistake. If you can stay in your area, but you don't have to sit down, as long as you stay in your area, I'll let you sit in my swivel chair. I asked her, I said, well, what do you want him to do? And she said, I want him to sit down. I said, well, that's what he's going to do. All right? That's what he's going to do. He's going to sit down. Okay? So I talked to the teacher, worked with the teacher. I talked with and worked with the mom and the student. And his goal was changed to remain seated in a program and also in a class. And I told him I'll be checking with his teacher soon to see. He improved, and he was sitting down in class. He was no longer darting across the classroom. He was no longer getting out of his seat constantly. He started to sit down, okay? But if we believe they can't sit down, and we start to provide accommodations and help instead of the expectation and the structure, and we don't focus on it until it gets done, then the kids will believe they can't do it. And also we as adults will believe that they cannot do it. So for teachers, educators say, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 15 years. And they need this. And they can't sit down. Some kids can't do it. I'm telling you, we need to change our belief system. They absolutely can. I've been working to improve behavior. And every kind of behavior, y'all. Every kind of behavior. I'm not come across, there's nothing you can tell me that I haven't seen and haven't worked with, okay, before. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and teaching kids how to read, and teaching kids math, teaching them how to improve academically at the same time. And I'm telling you, they can absolutely do it. We just have to believe they can, all right? Believe in yourself, believe in your child or your students, and always remember that growth is unlimited, y'all, and we got this.